Lord, hear me.
Hey, let this one go since we cut off earlier and bring it back.
The world famous Mr. Magic Rap Attack presents
Hey everyone, Stritch here with my guy Tyler Mayer. This is episode 2 of the Hot Snowball Podcast. Today we got a lot of interesting things to talk and react about.
We do. We got a full lineup, really, of things. We're going to talk football, of course, but we also have some news, some big national news regarding Matt Lauer, the Bosnian guy who poisoned himself in court. That was wild. Eli Manning we're going to get to. We're going to get to some other things as well. But, just a thanks to everyone. First episode, definitely a success.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was pleased that we were able to kick it off with a bang with our good friend Travis Wood. Sad that he's back in Texas, but happy he'll be back in about 2.5 weeks. So part 2 of T. Wood could be back. He also might just record some freestyle so we can throw them into the pod once in a while. We still have to communicate with him about that, though.
Yeah, that's an idea we just thought of, but I think I'm fully on board with that. I would love to have Wood on as not only as a guest. I would love to have a little freestyle here and there to get mixed in. But yeah, thanks to everyone. We had I wasn't expecting it to be thousands of people listening, obviously, but we got some good numbers for our first couple for the test episode and then episode 1. So
oh yeah, absolutely, got some good feedback, some texts. If anyone ever wants to come on and talk about whatever, rebuttal, me and Mayor agree with a lot of stuff. So if anyone wants to come in here and test us about anything, any hot topic, feel free and we'll bear you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's one thing that you and I we've got very similar sports views, sports opinions.
Great minds think alike, that's why.
That's right, that's true. Except for Kyrie, we don't agree on Kyrie at all.
That's for another day for sure.
Yeah, that's not for today.
I don't even consider it NBA season, still NFL. I don't get into NBA hardcore, even though I still watch every Celtics game till about March. March Madness picks up, and then I'm full-blown basketball mode.
Yeah. I'm not even in basketball mode. UConn is on, I think, right now. Mm-hmm. But I just can't bring myself to watch that go down because one, if anyone didn't know, really what turned into a terrible weekend for UConn hoops. I mean, it looked good. We beat Oregon. That was great. We talked about it on Friday, and I said this feels good. And then they went on to lose to Michigan State, which was a close game. But then they lost to Arkansas, which was an embarrassment. I was embarrassed.
Well, Arkansas, I think, is better than what we may have thought. They're well coached. They got some athletes on that team. Remember last year they played UNC very tight in the March Madness bracket in the tournament. So, I mean, it is what it is. Only places up for UConn to go. So,
well, yeah. I will say Arkansas, they shot well. They shot, I don't know what they shot exactly from the field, but they were lights out second half, so there was really no chance. But really just a lethargic effort by the Huskies.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Also, fun fact that myself, I believe you as well, Mayor, and a bunch of us will be at the game against Wichita State.
Yes.
December 30th.
I believe. I know it's near New Year's. Yes. Yeah.
I'm about 99% on that, so we got a good deal. Thanks to Chewy.
Great deal, yeah.
Hopefully other people can come out to that game. It's going to be a blast. Big upset. Wichita State will probably still be top 10 because I've watched them play. They're disgusting, so they should stay top 10.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can upset them at the XL.
That would be great. I would love to get a little upset, a little upset action at the XL. My dad was actually trying to buy tickets to this game, and he told me that the only tickets left are in the nosebleeds. So it's going to be a packed house. It's going to be a good atmosphere as long as by that point they're not under 500 or, the season is already a disaster. We could have a really good game. But
Yeah, I keep wheezing here. I just went for a brisk run in the cold, and my lungs are on fire. I walked into your house.
You did, yeah.
My calves are torched. I'm cramping up a little bit. I keep coughing.
When you walked in, you looked like my grandpa when he walks.
Yeah, not good.
I was concerned.
I'm wheezing over here. I don't know what's going on really, but it could have been the long weekend. We were at Woods, and then Saturday night, that was another story. And
maybe one that we talked to James about. We'd like to get James on in general.
Yeah, we were at Chicago Sam's mingling. Wasn't our year reunion the year below us, but that did not stop James from talking to multiple old flames. Just like last year, just old flames galore for James Roncato.
No. You know what? I don't want to. We're not.
That's for another story for James. We will wait for James.
Because I also want to talk about James. I also want to talk about Big Red because he was there, and I feel like people need to know about him. I feel like if they don't know,
I hope he had a good time. I love the Gronk jersey. Might have to make sure he hears about this. Maybe he could come on and talk some WWE.
Oh man, that would be
electric.
That would be something else. I really don't know I don't even know how that would go.
Yeah.
But you know that's for
another day.
For another day. Mm-hmm. We've got so much to talk about today.
Yeah. Let's quickly get into this political stuff. What's going on in the world? So Matt Lauer, breaking news this morning. Wake up.
Yeah.
See his face on the TV. Fired from NBC. He's been on the morning show. I mean, I don't watch it.
20 plus years, I believe.
20 plus years, covering a lot of big events, interviewing a lot of big people that are important in today's world. So it's kind of crazy to see him go. I know my mom was upset because she definitely tunes into that stuff in the morning, which is psychotic because most normal people get up at the last second and leave their house.
Right. And that's what I don't understand about, I don't understand early morning TV or late night TV. Who has the time to watch that? Because like you, I also wake up either exactly when I'm supposed to or 5 minutes after I'm supposed to, and then I rush to get to where I'm supposed to be.
There's really no time to watch any type of morning show. It just doesn't make sense. If anything, you can check your phone, check the scores, see who did well. That's all I really need to know. I don't need to even watch highlights.
Right. I don't watch highlights.
Because we watch the game.
Well, exactly. I watch the games I want to watch, and then, there's Twitter that we can check everything else for. The one show I did want to watch in the mornings, though, I did want to get into First Things First with my boy, Nick Wright.
Oh, we might disagree there. I don't disagree with everything that clown says, but actually the only thing I will sometimes agree with him is LeBron to an extent, but after that, he's pretty much big fraud.
Let's just put it this way. I've never felt so in touch and so connected mentally with a news anchor, like a sports analyst, a sports persona, than I do with Nick Wright. I feel like him and I are on the same plane.
Same wavelength?
We're on the same wavelength of sports thoughts, especially with LeBron. I do agree with him
about LeBron. I like his takes on LeBron. Yeah. Not every single one of them.
I don't even know his other takes, but just like his love for LeBron is something I admire.
I know he was anti-Patriot beginning of the year and was basically saying the Chiefs were Super Bowl bound. So
I do remember that.
I think he's a KC guy, though.
I do remember that. I don't agree with that, obviously. He was just trying to make some headlines for his show. I get it. But, when it comes to LeBron, never been more right in his life.
And he is a very early morning guy. I think that show's like 6 to 9.
It is. It's 6 to 9.
I know. I wonder who's going to be next to come out with something like this, some sexual harassment. When I hear that, I feel like lately it's been people going way too far. Kind of makes me scared if I'm going to flirt with anybody in the office. What they might say.
Yes.
I mean, I have an idea of what's right and wrong. And I don't think I'll ever make a mistake like that. But the rumors, or at least allegations we're hearing, are
let's definitely get into what he did here.
Apparently gets in rooms isolated with females and just whips out his dick. I mean, to be blunt. And also, you knew a little bit more about this, but what he had going on with his office, or his
so apparently he's got an office that it's not only in like the farthest section of the NBC
which is
studios,
sketchy.
Which in itself is just ridiculous. But he also has a button on his desk, his former desk, that when he pressed it would lock his door from the inside. So whoever was in couldn't get out. Like, what? I just don't understand why that was put in the office to begin with. Like, where is, like, the thought process, like, with the executives when he came up to them and said, I need a modification to my office. I need a button that locks my door. Like, were they, like
was it for protection, maybe, if there was ever some type of attack?
Okay. I did not actually consider that at all.
That's what's clicking in my head.
I was just so caught up with the fact that, like, he's such a creep and such a weirdo that he would have that in the first place that I didn't even think about security purposes. But it's just, national heroes, celebrities are going down, like, one by one, day by day. I mean, I'm sure this won't be the last one either. A lot of people are having some confidence, specifically the females coming forward. I can't say I know what it's like to be sexually harassed. I feel like it's definitely something more common with females. And, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see this happen again in the future with some big name in the media, sports, whoever it may be. It's like like on our BarelandFantasyFootball.com. Feel free to check that out. We have a little countdown. Last time since you made a trade. Mm-hmm. I feel like there should be a website that says, like, last time, like, time since someone has been
sexually harassed.
Someone has been accused of sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a website waiting to happen. But yeah, just in general, I mean, I just don't understand. We talked about this earlier. Like, if you're a guy like Matt Lauer,
this is a good point.
Well known, right?
Good looking, no homo.
Good looking.
I'm gonna say he's a good looking guy. 59, he looks good.
He did. When I saw he was 59, I was shocked. I really was. Mm-hmm. But so good looking guy, objectively, no homo. Right. Rich,
for sure.
Well known, well respected. Why do you have to resort to, like, pushing an intern into a closet and, like, pulling out your dong? Like, why is that?
It doesn't make sense. The only thing I can think of, just because I follow Blazarian on social media, is, like, apparently you do everything, like, you want when you're rich, and you can do pretty much anything that it gets boring. So maybe he got bored of, I don't know, just getting random hot chicks or doing whatever he wants, so he just resorted to some weird, creepy shit, which doesn't make sense to me at all, because I feel like I would be just satisfied, going from chick to chick, kind of like Blazarian does. I think he's doing it the right way.
I never would have thought I would say that, but Blazarian is kind of like the model celebrity. That's how you should be, he is not. Different model.
Everyone consents, and they consent to him.
They consent, and he's living a good life. Never boring.
Right. Some could say that's prostitution he's got going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Though.
You know what? I do think that sometimes I see his Snap stories, and his Instagram stories, and I'm like, where does he find these girls? Like, why do they hang out with him? Like, just to bang him? Like, where's the incentive? There has to be some.
Not the worst looking dude. He's pretty jacked up.
Yeah,
but right. At the end of the day, he does have the fun. So
he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in general, Matt Lauer, I don't know what you're doing. Just and the one thing I will say, one last thing, is that I was a little, and I told you this too. Like, the announcers were, like, upset early in the morning. They're like, "We love Matt Lauer. We're so sad to see Matt Lauer go." That's a bad look.
It's not the best look. It's understandable you can be upset. Maybe they're more upset that he did this.
Yeah.
With his actions, they're upset that this is what it's come to, rather than they're sad that he got caught. So that's the only thing I could be thinking.
I could see that. But we also had in the news today. We talked about this a little bit. His name. I'm gonna butcher this one. Slobodan Praljak, 72-year-old war general, or he was like a war figure, military figure.
Mm-hmm. Doing some sort of crimes.
Yes, committed a war crime. I don't know in particular what the war crime is. I'm not that well versed with the whole case. But he appealed his ruling. His ruling stood. And what does he do? Right away, takes out a little bottle and just chugs it, and he goes, "This is poison." And everyone's
whole courtroom just erupts in chaos. The guy just drinks it down like a complete savage. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I'm surprised they didn't catch him bringing something like that in.
I don't know how he is. I figured he was already in custody. Like, how does he have this? How did he get this is also a question I want to know. Like, where did you get that from?
Yeah, definitely would have to look more into that. But this guy was just straight crazy. I wish he didn't kill himself because I feel like he definitely got away with what he wanted, the easy way out, rather than 20 more years of just rotting away in some prison.
Right. Well, the thing is, too, is that he's 72 years old. So, if he even made it through the 20-year sentence, he's going to be 92. I mean, I guess I can see why he did that. Like, what's the point of doing that? But, yeah, he drank it, sat down, didn't get up. And then they brought him to the doctor. They said, yeah, that was poison, all right. And he was dead.
Oh, my God. That is just absolutely crazy.
It's just wild. And I think we agreed that, we're going to name him our inaugural Savage of the Week, correct?
Yeah. I mean, it's still, mid of the week, Wednesday, he already won it. No doubt about it. So.
He did. So just wanted to touch on that. That was wild. Savage of the Week, Slobodan Praljak.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he's dead.
He is rest in peace. I mean, do we?
No, we don't say no rest in peace.
No, it's no. No, we don't. But yeah, that was just what was in the news. Crazy news morning. There was so much more we could talk about, but we want to keep this sports centered for the most part.
Yeah, and we'll get into that now.
And we're gonna, and in particular, we're gonna get to the NFL, I believe.
Yeah, and Josh Gordon specifically, because I know you're excited that he's back. One of your favorite players, no doubt about it.
He is my favorite NFL player, 100%. Except for LeGarrette Blount. Him and Josh Gordon Blount are my 1 and 2. But yeah, I do have a little announcement to make. This is a league-only announcement for the Maryland Fantasy Football League. But Josh Gordon will be starting in my lineup this week. I've been waiting for this moment for probably 3 years now to put him into my lineup. I don't care how many points he gets because I have racked up enough points to win points for.
Attaboy, Mayor.
Thank
Congrats,
you.
Mayor.
Thank you. Not to brag. But,
back-to-back years, not to brag.
Back-to-back years, not to brag. But, yeah, so I'm very excited that he's going to be back in my squad.
Mm-hmm. And, I was on the internet the other day. We both follow Barstool, saw this article about Josh Gordon, pretty much stating that when he was in high school, college, he was slinging some serious drugs left and right, bringing in like $10,000 a day if he wanted to, pretty much committing crimes, like stealing, going in people's houses, like armed too.
Yeah.
Not to like hurt anyone, but gather electronics, money, whatever they could. And they were also apparently using fake money and then going to like different places like McDonald's, changing it up for the proper currency. And it was just crazy how he was basically doing Xanax, oxycodone, drinking alcohol before his games when he was 17.
Drinking alcohol in school.
Yeah.
He was putting bottle.
Yeah, in apple juice bottles, orange juice bottles. Like, I don't know. It's pretty crazy that he was doing that and still nonetheless balling out on everyone. Yeah. I mean, he ended up going to Baylor, and I think they were saying how he then transferred or was looking to. Places like USC, UCLA, Utah, and Oregon were calling for him. But, I mean, I guess he only was able to travel to Utah, they said, and he just stopped there because he got too fucked up and didn't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he every single day, I learn more and more about Josh Gordon, and more he becomes like my favorite player just because of his backstory. Not only that he's reformed and he's now sober, but just he was a savage back in the day.
He was just a beast, fast,
unbelievable,
big, good hands. I mean, he didn't have the best quarterback throwing to him.
Right.
He had back-to-back 200-yard games.
He did.
He was considered the best wide receiver in the NFL. In 2013, he played 14 games, caught 87 balls for over 1,600 yards and 9 touchdowns with the Browns. We're talking Brandon Weeden, Jason Campbell. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. And 2 games with Hoyer.
Right, Hoyer too. Hoyer. Yeah, so it's impressive stuff what he was doing. Hopefully he obviously will have to adjust, get back into the game a little bit before he's back at his peak performance. It'll be interesting to see if he's, after a few games, or maybe next year, hopefully he's playing, if he's better than he was before now that he's sober.
Right. I think that's actually the big question with him is, was he better because of the drugs? Or is he going to be, cause if that's him on drugs, what is he going to be like off drugs?
Right. Kind of like Chris Herron, like when he was doing all those drugs before the game, meeting drug dealers outside, then go inside and just balling out. Said he couldn't play without them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever heard of, I'm drawing a blank now on the name. I'm going to look this up while I'm talking about it. Doc Ellis. You ever hear about him?
No.
So he was a Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher back in the day, in the 70s and 80s. Played for a couple teams, the Yankees. But the one big thing he is known for is that he pitched a no-hitter. And he pitched a no-hitter while tripping on LSD. Threw a no-hitter.
That's remarkable.
He says he doesn't remember anything about the game. He just remembers like letting the ball go and just like a force like carrying it for him.
That is
it is. So, again, it's
hard to believe.
One game on LSD, no hitter. The rest of his career, he was very subpar. So that is a question with Josh Gordon that I think is very valid in asking going forward.
I know I can't wait. I'm very excited.
I'm thrilled. Really,
it was exhilarating to watch him back in the day when I was in college. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. I will, Josh, if you hear this, thank you for coming back. Can't wait to play you this week. Along with that, though, there's the amount of news in terms of the NFL has been crazy this year, and this one is a little interesting. I think you, in terms of Eli, have a much stronger opinion on him than I do. Mm-hmm. I really don't have an opinion one way or another about Eli. So if you didn't know, Eli Manning, he's been benched as the starting quarterback 210 consecutive games by the Giants for Geno Smith, former Jet. I don't hate Eli. I always thought he was a good player. Obviously, I know you have thoughts towards him. So really, my question is, how do you feel about this? Are you happy about this? Or?
Well, I honestly feel bad for Eli because I watched the interview of him. They said he was just holding back some tears because he obviously loves the G-Man. He loves playing quarterback for New York Giants. I think he's a slightly above quarterback in terms of his entire career. Some years he's definitely been subpar compared to other quarterbacks in the league, like in the bottom. Some years he's in the top. And he's obviously a two-time Super Bowl champion. You got to give him credit for that, even though the whole team wins the Super Bowl. I mean, the defense had a big part to do with that. Some crazy, wild, lucky catches. Luck is a thing in sports, if you guys out there didn't know, but it is a thing. Some people like to think it's not, but it is. So not saying Eli was lucky twice. He definitely deserved the 2 rings and all. But there was definitely other factors such as the defense, some wild catches, Tyree Manningham, some bad plays by other teams. But that's how sports goes. So, I mean, at the end of the day, all the credit to Eli. I feel bad for him because, you shouldn't be blaming this season on him. It's all on the head coach, McAdoo. He hasn't been doing the right thing with the offensive line. Just the plays in general, you need to adjust when your team faces adversity, and that's something I think the Patriots do well. Obviously, I'm a Patriots fan biased, but I mean, when they were struggling a couple years back when they ended up winning the Super Bowl against the Seahawks in 15, whenever that was, they had a horrible offensive line. They got smoked by the Chiefs. Horrible offensive line. Brady, no time. They start running quick plays. James White is more involved in the offense, doing certain things, moving people around, adjusting to what's going on, your strengths. You learn, how your team's doing the more and more you start playing in the year. So, for example, when the Patriots lost again to the Chiefs this year, people are like, what the hell? Like, why aren't they good? They should be cruising along. They just won the Super Bowl. Like, they played the best second half ever. And Coach Belichick said it best. You can't expect them to be at that point in the season, week 1, people take time off. You got to come back, new group of guys. It takes time to, progress and get better, and that's what they're doing now, and that's something the Giants never did, which is all in the coaching. I can't believe they're pulling Eli for Geno Smith, who we've seen play, who's just complete trash. People have tried him. The Jets tried to put him in after Fitzpatrick was doing bad. It just didn't work. His teammates punched him in the face. No one likes this guy. What do they think Geno's going to do? He's really not a mobile guy. He's a little more mobile than, Eli. I mean, everyone is. I think I'm more mobile than Eli if I were to go out there. So I'm going to definitely tune in because they said that if Geno struggles, which he's going to, you can bring that to the bank. They said they'll just bring Eli back in. But the fact they would even do that to him is just astounding.
It is. What I would do if I were them is I would let Eli start the game and then get one snap in and then bring in Geno. And then...
Don't ruin the streak?
Don't ruin the streak. Let him get one more and then let the game dictate itself. If Geno does well, that's a little different. I have no big opinion on Eli, but I think Ben McAdoo is one of the worst coaches in football by far. I mean, I don't think that's a question, but this is just a series of things. He also was the one who sent home, was it Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie he sent home? And then Landon Collins doesn't like him. No one in the secondary likes him.
Yeah, you need to be a likable coach if you want to have any success and connect with the players. From what I've read and heard, he doesn't do that one bit. So Landon Collins, who was debatably the defensive player of the year last year, I've watched this year a few times in Giants games. He just looks like he doesn't give two fucks about what is going on in those games, not trying really. I mean, maybe he is and he's just doing poorly, but the whole team in general is not clicking. Obviously, they lost Brandon Marshall, Odell Beckham. The line is just trash in general. Ingram, rookie, still dropping the ball a ton, even though he's done decently, I guess.
He's been good, yeah. He's been okay.
The running back is just struggling. I mean, if they had a run game, that would take some pressure off Eli, but overall, it's just extremely poor.
And I think really the main takeaway is it's really not Eli's fault, and he's been set up the whole season really as a scapegoat for the bad year.
Usually that's how it works. The quarterback unfortunately takes most of the blame, and Eli, he's not really a guy who's out there bragging. He's not he doesn't showboat too much. He's a pretty level-headed guy. So I don't hate Eli Manning. I don't really hate any players. Yeah. I think he, again, borderline Hall of Famer. I get it. 2-time Super Bowl champion. He should be in the Hall of Fame, but he also leads the league in interceptions. It seems like not all the time, but he's led the league in interceptions before, and he's just, in my opinion, he's the borderline. It could go either way. If he gets in the Hall of Fame, I'll understand it. If he doesn't, I'll understand it. Some people think it's obvious he's a Hall of Famer. I just disagree there.
Right. I mean, one thing I will say about the Hall of Fame for the NFL, and this also goes for the NBA, is they do bring in a lot of guys each year. Each year, it's not like baseball where you can have one year where no one gets in. Mm-hmm. They're going to put people in. So I think Eli's got a realistic chance. I mean, you look at some of the other guys who are in there who have never won a Super Bowl, and you're statistically he's better, but then you also have to remember that the game has changed in such a way where now it's a pass-heavy, oriented league as compared to how it was back in the day. Yeah. Which is why, quarterbacks, in terms of fantasy, I think they get a little overvalued because people think of back in the day when there was one good player like Brett Favre, Tom Brady, whoever. Those guys were the only ones throwing for over 1,000, over 3,000 yards every year. Mm-hmm. And now every year, the yards record is broken.
Right.
So, I think Eli, it's tough to say if he'll make it or not. I just know in general, in this case, he's robbed. He's getting robbed. Of just in general, just having a graceful exit from the Giants organization.
Yeah, no one wants to go out, 2-9. That's the current record for the Giants. I'm sure that he'll either go somewhere else to play like his brother did or, Favre. I mean, he could go somewhere else and be successful, no doubt about it, if he has those pieces, like I mentioned before, defense, running back, a couple decent receivers, to make a push at another Super Bowl ring. Because, just being a competitive person, as I'm sure almost everyone in the NFL is, and especially Eli, that he wants to go out with a bang, or at least, a good season. I'm sure this is not how he wants to end his career.
Right. He could pull like a Brett Favre where he, goes to the Vikings of all places and like brings them to like a NFC championship game, something like that. He deserves better than this. And I saw that he might some potential landing spots. Number one is of course the Jags.
Yeah,
that's
because Coughlin's
so
there.
obvious,
and they got those pieces, but everything but a quarterback.
Right. And if they're playing well with Blake Bortles, that's a detriment to your team, and you're playing well. Right. So imagine, Eli, he's a little more competent than Blake Bortles, arguably. I think
I'd say I'd rather have Eli than Bortles. If you were to, who do I want on the quarterback? If I'm like the owner of that team, general manager, head coach, whoever, I'd probably say, give me Eli before I put Blake Bortles under center.
Yeah, so I think that's a very fair statement to make. In general, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Week 13, anything else? Not fantasy related, because we're going to try and stay away from our league in general, I think, just for the average listener. I don't think they'll know, what's going on.
But no, not in this week. I mean, the only other surprise really I can think of that blew my mind was the Steelers game, obviously. They were a 14.5-point favorite and nearly lost to the Packers. So that was a little bit of a surprise, which also makes me feel, watching that game a little easy, just knowing that the Patriots will probably face them in the AFC Championship game, because I don't see how they're going to lose again. It's going to be, in my opinion, a cakewalk to that game in Foxborough. So I'm extremely thrilled. I mean, watching that, I was getting definitely a little horny. Just like, wow, this is going to be amazing. The Pats are just going to walk to the Super Bowl, play whoever in the West. NFC, whatever. I'm hoping it's the Eagles. I'd love to beat Wentz in a lifetime, because I'm not a big Wentz guy. Okay. I don't like the Eagles. I think they're frauds. They can't fool me.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not high on them. Not sold. They could go, win out. They could lose one game all year, 17-1. I still would not feel comfortable. They go 17-1, win their first couple playoff games, go to the Super Bowl against the Pats. I would love nothing more. I would be so confident. I would more fear playing someone in the NFC, like if they're able to get hot, make a run, I'd say the Falcons again. For some reason, that team just scares me more than other teams. Also, the Rams, even though they have a first-year coach, a team like that with a good offense the Patriots defense has been better, but in general, that type of offense with what could be a very good stout defense with Wade Phillips. The Rams, the Falcons, I'm not scared. That's the last team. The Eagles are just the last team that scares me out of the playoff picture.
What about the Saints? Saints?
No, the Patriots already beat them by 1 million.
That's true.
In New Orleans, so that's a team that doesn't scare me.
Okay.
The Vikings also just do not scare me. You got to be off your rocker if you think they're going to do anything.
Yeah.
But
as long as Case Keenum, I like Case Keenum. I will say he's
exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. I had no expectations for it. I thought he was going to be awful. But him and Thielen, they do have a little connection there. But as long as he's a quarterback on the Vikings, they're not going to do anything. No. I think that's fair to say. And so when Bron, if we do talk to Bron soon.
Bron can talk if he wants about his Vikings.
Right. He can make his little claim about the Vikes. But, if Case Keenum's your quarterback, you got to temper your expectations.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Slow the roll. I know.
A little bit.
What does he think's going on here? Case Keenum, are you kidding me?
This is a little different than Sammy Brad.
Sammy Bradford I have more confidence in. He throws a much better ball.
He is good. If only he could stay healthy, really, because he can't.
No, not at all.
Not at all. But he, at least him, I have would be a little more concerned. Case Keenum, if you put him up against Bill Belichick, he has no chance.
Yeah,
zero. No chance.
Nope.
The only other thing I think about Week 12 that I want to talk about, Julio Jones, just in general, throughout the whole year, disappointment for all the fantasy owners out there. I know James owns Julio.
Yep, James in our league, yep.
He did. And he came in a huge moment for potentially Josh now. Unfortunately, not you. That was an unfortunate series of events there to eliminate you technically.
Yeah.
Unless you have a huge
300
week.
points this week. You never know. Yeah.
But just as a Julio fan, it was great to see. And he's someone who I think and I agree with you that if you faced him in the Super Bowl, I think just him alone would make things
definitely
a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some of that game this week because I made a killer DraftKings lineup this week. Went for about 217 points on DraftKings for those who don't play. It's full point PPR, but I had Julio Jones had 2 touchdowns over 200 yards.
Yep.
Like 12 catches. I had Joe Mixon, who scored a touchdown. I had Sanu, who threw a touchdown. I had also Tevin Coleman, 2 touchdowns. And I entered this lineup.
You had Gronk, too, I believe. I
had Gronk, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Eagles defense.
Yep.
And Andy Dalton.
Yep.
Sammy Watkins, who had a touchdown, 4 catches, 85 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
And, of course, this entry that I did was none other than free. So I put in one free lineup. Now, there were cash prizes because it's basically like a silver contest. Like they do gold, silver, bronze.
Right.
And since I was able to lose enough money this month, they gave me a free contest. And I entered it with 120,000 people. And I came in 74th, I believe, out of 120,000. That landed me $5, which I promptly lost the next day in the NBA double up that I did. Shout out Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons for having a terrible game.
Just tanking it for you?
For tanking it for me. I knew I shouldn't have played them. I thought they would do well against the Cavs, but the Cavs, I guess, are starting to string it together. But yeah, I mean, if I entered that and Peter Hogan, one of our friends, he won a free entry, like we mentioned in our other episode.
And this isn't like your entry. This is he won a $75 entry.
Right. He won a $75 entry in the DraftKings retweet contest. If I had entered that, my lineup in this contest, it would have won $2,500. Right. So I'm a little disappointed.
35th.
I would have came in 35th at about 60. I think it was 60,000, 65,000, somewhere in there. So that's depressing.
That's got to be tough to swallow.
It's tough to swallow, and I was trying not to be a degenerate gambler because I'm trying to get off that path. So my girlfriend stays with me, and just be a little more respected from my peers, maybe.
Okay. Shout out to Georgia, by the way.
Yep. So I mean, I haven't done DraftKings for money in a while. This is like the most recent one I've done just because it was free. Right. And lo and behold, I'm just like, as soon as I tune in, I'm like, I wonder how my team's doing. Oh my God, I'm literally in 12th place and I'm winning $30. And if I move up a little bit with Sammy Watkins, I could win literally $1,100. But that was shot down by Kamara, who just went off as well last week. So
he had a day.
Sammy Watkins actually had a target down the left sideline, which would have been about a 40-yard catch, which went off one hand and intercepted. And then on third down, they literally did a back shoulder throw to him, and I've never seen better defense, and it was incomplete. So Sammy could have had like another couple, maybe 10 points, and that could have pushed me up a little bit, but it really didn't matter in the end. Yeah. But this just makes me want to go back, load up about $100 on DraftKings, and go crazy on like a couple lineups. So it was actually one of the worst things that could have happened to me. This weekend, absolutely terrible, because I just want to, who's back of the week? Me. I got a new job, so my first paycheck, I just want to put literally $1,000 into my DraftKings account and just ball out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, dude. That's the one thing about doing DraftKings is that if you don't put money on, you're guaranteed to have like a well scoring lineup. It's a curse. You can either give them your money and not do well, or you can do well and make no money. So it really depends on what tickles your fancy. I mean, some people like to lose.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, usually what I do is like I'll enter $50 and I'll just unload the 50 on one lineup. I don't like doing two because I don't like worrying about other people. I just like rooting for my guys.
Right.
Which apparently isn't the way to go because you have to spread it out and there's a better chance you could win money in the grand prize pools, whatever.
Right.
But I usually just, lay out 50. That's what I would do. And hope that I won. And if I won, then the next night I would just, let's say I got up to 100, I would just put 100 in. I didn't really,
Yeah, well.
Or a little bit. I would do a little bit. Or if I was cautious with it, I would still lose it no matter what. Eventually it would all go away because of some unfortunate sequence of events.
That's the main moral of the story is that when it comes down to it, you never win on that site.
No, because even when you win, you don't win the full amount, so you have to win over 50% of the time.
Right, and the thing is we got big into FanDuel baseball. Like 2 years ago, we did that.
Yeah,
and
it's fun. I mean, it's fun.
I lost a lot though doing that.
Yeah.
And so what I decided to do, I took a year off from NBA last year. I said I'm not playing it. This year I came back and I told myself $10 a week I will play. Get a little, if I have money in there, I won't put money in. And at the beginning of the year, I did pretty well. I was doing pretty good. And then I decided to get risky. I put it into a $50 Jeep, like a tournament, a $50 tournament
GP
because I said, I just want to win. And our whole little motto when it comes to the FanDuel is I just want to win the mill. I want to quit my job.
Just one time coming first. But the other funny thing is, I must have the worst luck with these lineups because everyone that I play at some point, even in the NBA, literally gets hurt and has to head to the locker room.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, why is literally Damian Lillard doing nothing? Check Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, Damian Lillard's gone to the locker room to be evaluated, return questionable. Ben Simmons, he's got 4 fouls in the first minute. Oh, that's great. He literally cost more than everyone on my entire team that I just assembled for literally 8 hours at my job. It's literally all day just looking, who do I want to play? And then the game starts, and lo and behold, oh my God, Hassan Whiteside has 2 fouls, both offensive. He has -1 at the end of the first quarter. It's just stupid.
Or with Whiteside, it's the Heat are down 40, so he's sitting the whole second half.
Right, yeah. Or classic, I'm winning one, and I'm like, okay, Harden and the Rockets are up by 70 against the Phoenix Suns, so he shouldn't play the fourth. And then who comes out trying to score 60 points in the game? But James Harden just chucking threes for 8 minutes in the fourth quarter up by 30. Just classic.
Yep.
People who don't play DraftKings won't really understand. Maybe they would if they play fantasy with the injuries and stuff.
Yeah, I think if you play season-long fantasy, you realize the frustration of people getting hurt.
You're supposed to avoid the frustration with DraftKings of like the injuries in FanDuel. You're supposed to avoid the injuries, and it still happens to me somehow. Every week I play.
Right. Well, the whole slogan when it first came out, I remember seeing the commercials thinking it was bullshit. I didn't really want to try it. They said, don't worry about the injuries because you get to play a new lineup every single day or every week. But as you said, more often than not, something happens that results in one of my guys doing nothing. The thing is that you can do as much research as you want. I spend from 7:24 when the first bell rings in the morning to 2:20 in the afternoon looking at fantasy sports for FanDuel basketball. I'm doing research, reading articles, making lineups. Kids are asking me for help on papers. I'm saying, get the fuck out of here.
I need to craft a gem so I can quit this.
Craft a gem so I don't come back tomorrow. And then I get home and I look and what I would do for the first few is I would go to bed and I didn't want to see how they did. And I would wake up and see how they did.
Right. Classic. I like that trick. I used to do that when I used to bet a while back. I would literally just throw in a game, degenerate style, just flip a coin, say, okay, heads or tails, put it in, go to bed. We're talking 10:30 at night games, the midnight games, then wake up, and sure enough, they'd all be losers.
Oh, and that's the same thing that happens to me. As I wake up, and I score 200 points in basketball, which is possibly the worst you could possibly do.
Yeah,
you need at least 350 to even think about becoming
the
rich.
Millionaire. Right.
And that's so much easier said than done.
Right.
Because no matter what, someone's gonna fuck you over.
What I was thinking about doing for a while is just creating an account, following like 1,000 fantasy accounts, trying to get these noobs to follow me so I could put out lineups and put in my PayPal information on my Twitter, and then have people pay me when my lineups do well, which would hopefully be frequently. And because I used to in college follow this guy, and he would tweet his lineups out for free, and he'd be like, if you win, Venmo me or PayPal me, whatever, like a couple bucks, $5, $10. So I was getting annoyed because I'm playing this dude's lineup. Like, I do mine and then I play his, and I keep winning mine and I'm losing his. I'm like, why is this man's asking me for $10 when his lineups are complete garbage?
Yeah.
So one day I DM'd him, told him he ain't shit. I said, play me right now. I'm like, play me heads up, please, for like $50 or $20. I can't remember. So we did a contest. He's like, all right, send it to me. So I'm in this guy's DMs, sending him screenshots of my lineup. I'm like, this is my fucking lineup, you motherfucker. You stop fucking asking people, you cheap son of a bitch from Chicago. I am Legend DFS. I remember this black dude in Chicago.
I am Legend
Yeah,
DFS.
he was complete garbage, man.
I'm looking him up right now.
He thought he was hot shit. He's asking for money on his PayPal. I said, fuck you, dude. I said, your lineups are trash. I'll beat you right now. It was in the summer. I put in a lineup. I worked on it for 30 minutes, beat his ass, and this fool PayPal'd me like $20, I think.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Right,
so respect to him for actually doing it, because if I lost, hell nah, I was gonna block him and not send him a fucking cent.
I would never send. Yeah, I would never. I found him though.
Yeah, I told you, real guy.
Daily fantasy sports analyst.
Does he got his PayPal up there still?
He does.
He does. I fucking hate that guy.
And he's got his Venmo now.
Oh, he's got his good.
Which is his name.
Yeah.
I rep Iota Phi Theta and love my family.
I guess he's a good guy, but guess what? You're not good at fantasy, my mans. You stick to your day job. I smoked you in baseball. He was crying in my DM saying he got unlucky. My team went off. His didn't. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Now,
I will say, though, I have, we for a while, we played that kid's lineup who was a purported, this kid, by the way, has won over $100,000 on GPP games. Yep. This is a serious player. I was getting his lineups for a while, and they were terrible. We won the first one, and then...
we went cold.
We went cold very fast. I guess you gotta
trust the process. I don't trust any process but my own. At least if I'm going to lose, I know it's my gut feeling, my gut lineup. So,
well, you know what? I will say I almost prefer taking his lineups because then I can blame someone. I feel like I need to blame when I lose.
It's always fun to blame.
I don't like to be the loser. He's the loser, and I just believed him.
Right. And as soon as you stop playing the lineups, you know he's going to get hot and probably win $1 million. But yeah, it is what it is. That we got into that quick. Didn't even think we were going to talk some DraftKings fantasy, but hey, those are some good stories. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah. You know what? I hate DraftKings and FanDuel, but I also love it.
Right.
And that's just how it is.
Now, Mayor, this just breaking. I'm not sure if you've been following your phone on the group chat.
I know where this is going, and I have been following.
At the half, UConn, who's favored by 11.5 over Columbia, down 41-30, playing at home at Gamble Pavilion. So that is just not what I wanted to see.
No, let's just put it this way. Kevin Ollie, I like Kevin Ollie. I think he's okay, like coach, like not a head coach though. And I think the one problem is that he had these kids buy into the fact that they're NBA players and they're going to play iso ball. Like we had like 3 assists, like the whole game against Oregon. I mean, how is that even possible?
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on. I didn't watch obviously because we're recording now, but the stats, the starting lineup. I mean, how I don't understand how Jalen Adams has 2 points against Columbia. Like Christian Vital has 17 points, over half of our points. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Lauer has 2, and he has 2 fouls. And then Adams has 2, and he's only taken 5 shots. I really don't get like how this team works. You watch them play, and you're just like, "What are you doing? Like, do something."
It's bad.
It's bad. I've been a huge KO guy for a while, but I'm officially on the Fire KO bandwagon, which is tough for me to say. I named my dog after KO.
He got us the one ship with Calhoun's players, but
he did. But you know what? I will say, and I've had this conversation with some anti-UConn folk. He, even though he did get those players, that was still 2 years removed, right? Mm-hmm. And that was, a different team, just that, it was really Shabazz doing the whole thing. And Brima was playing good enough that he was masked. We didn't realize that he was actually not, even close to good. We thought he was actually good back then. And so things have just changed. I mean, it's a mess right now. Hopefully they win. That'd be nice. But, I really don't have much to say. It's tough to watch. It's really tough to even try and watch these guys play. Especially when you got Larrier coming in and just chucking up shots that are terrible. Alterique Gilbert is out. He's usually chucking up terrible shots, and he's like shooting like some of the worst shooting percentages like in the country. He's like the Lonzo Ball of college. Like his numbers are terrible. And UConn is like currently like the worst shooting team in NCAA history.
Right.
That is unacceptable. It's just like mind blowing. This is mind blowing to me.
Very unacceptable.
So I mean, I guess we are winding down here. So I guess I will have to force myself to watch the second half.
Yeah, I think I will as well, and then we can comment on it on the next pod.
Yes, Friday we can, or Saturday we can. We'll talk about that.
Friday. Hopefully, I was talking with my friend Max DiLorenzo. He said he would, to quote, be honored to come on the Hot Snowball and talk some Cowboys, Duke basketball.
Okay.
Maybe a little UConn sports, college football, ask him about some stories.
We could ask him for some. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we could set up a time, get D'Lo on the show, because I mean everyone loves D'Lo. I mean he's a fan favorite around town.
He is.
And in general, you gotta love it. So that would be nice if we could get him on. Get some takes from him because he does have some hot takes, a.k.a. D'Lo Logic. If you haven't heard, you will on the next pod, and it's electric.
Even if it's not the next, we got to get him on. I agree. We do have to get him on. We're going to get him on. We're going to get James on soon.
Whoever else inquire, just hit us up on social media at KStritch3 on Twitter. Yeah. Instagram, I think I'm KStritch, and then Snapchat, I think I'm KStritch3 too, something like that.
Yeah.
Or hit Mayor up. Anyone, you want to come talk? Come talk.
Right, yeah. Tyler_Mayor if you want to talk. We're really ready to talk anything. And we should have 2 microphones soon. Quick update on the microphones. I contacted Blue again. I said, what's going on here? It's been about a week since I've contacted you. No reply from Blue. Might have to tweet at him because they do have a Twitter. But that's just unacceptable. But the 2 mics are coming soon. Hopefully soon. I still have to they have to reply to me first before we even get that process going. But yeah, I mean, I think that's just about it. You got anything else you wanna add here?
Yeah, I got one last thing to say. I'll say this: since we're gonna be hopefully releasing this episode
tonight.
I don't know, tonight should be out tonight, Wednesday night. Hopefully people have a chance to listen to this before the Thursday night game. I'm going to give you the lock of the week. How about this? I'll just do the main games. I'll do like the Thursday night and the Sunday night. Okay. And then actually I'd have to do them all technically now because we record after. So I'll give you the 3 locks. Okay, so if we're looking at the Dallas Redskins game, they're playing at Dallas right now. Washington favored by 1.5. Give me the boys. They're going to win, bounce back on track. Washington, really not that good.
Okay.
I like the boys to bounce back at home.
Okay.
And then let's see what we got for I'm only talking primetime games. So early lines, yeah. Philly minus 5.5 at Seattle. Give me the Hawks, baby. I told you I'm not a Philadelphia guy. I think Seattle will be able to move the ball against them. Expect, though, the Eagles to get up big early and then Russ to grind his way back in the second half to, if not a win, a very close ball game.
Right.
And then in this week's Monday night game, we got Pittsburgh playing at Cincy. Again, give me the dog, the home dog. Cincinnati, again, early, 5.5. Would not be surprised if Cincy won outright. That would be my number 1 play right there. The other 2 I still feel very confident about, but Cincinnati plus the 5.5, I absolutely love that. I don't see how that loses, but we'll be back on episode 4.
Well, 3.
3. No, this is 2. No, we're going to do 3 on Friday.
Right.
And then 4 would be after the games.
Yes.
So it would be episode 4.
Yeah, so we'll know about the Thursday night game.
We'll know about the Thursday night game. We can react to that. And then we'll be able to react to the other 2, what do they call it? The main games? The primetime
matchups.
On episode 4. So that's what I got for you. Book those.
All right.
Thank me later.
All right. I respect you. I respect that.
And we can react to them all. I'll have something to say no matter what happens.
Okay. Yeah. I think one thing we know for sure, Stritch he's accountable. He will be accountable.
You can blame me.
Yeah. As I said, it's always nice to blame someone.
I win when I don't bet. So this is just gonna these will hit. So
yeah, maybe you could start up a little little Venmo service. I'll
put my Venmo on all social media at KStritch. If I win, you got to Venmo me a couple bucks for my services. Thank you.
I like it. Thanks for listening. As always, right? Check the SoundCloud. It's going to go to the SoundCloud first, and then once each episode kind of like runs its life, it will go to YouTube. So they'll all be available no matter what, just different spots.
Yep. And also shout out Dan Slomsky. He was at our first recording at the Wood household. We have some great videos of the recording. We're going to try and get those up on social media or YouTube because it's just funny.
They are ridiculous in a good way.
Ridiculous in a good way.
They are just hilarious. So, yes, thank you, Dan. We forgot to give Dan a shout-out last week, so we want to make sure we do that now.
We want to thank him for his services. So, thank you, Dan. We're looking forward to getting those up. But that's all we got. Hope everyone enjoys this episode of the Hot Snowball, and we'll be back for episode 3 in the near future.
Put 1,000 on the gray dog. Which one, over there? I like that one. All right. Yo, the long trench wearer, money in my hand, I dare you to come and take this. Find you in the basement naked, plus it's raining. She took a sniff, now she dancing like she Usher Raymond. See me swerving in the Lincoln with the Daytons. See colors annihilating, kinda resemble fried bacon. I'll shoot at your crew, put the spoon inside the tiramisu. As I sat there looking cute.